Welcome to this video on getting the most out of your tracking app. So what I have here is running BizXpenseTracker, and it's on a simulator, so it should be very clear to see. The reason I have BizXpenseTracker running is because it covers all the three different type of entry types: expenses, mileage, and time. So we can take a look at all those. This video covers all four of our tracking apps: XpenseTracker, BizXpenseTracker, MileTracker, and TimeTracker, as long as you're running version 9 or greater of those versions. At the time this is being created, XpenseTracker 9 has not yet been released, but hopefully is available at the time you're watching this, or should be soon. So let's take a look. The purpose of this video is to actually show you probably features you might not be aware of. Some of them are right in front of you, but may not be something you've explored. But by showing them today, maybe it's something you'll use in the future. And these features enhance the use of the app. You can certainly get by with not using these features, but the benefit is to use them and make your life a little easier. So let's get right into. We're going to create a new. Also, I should say that this requires understanding of the tracking app. So if you're new to the apps, then I recommend you watching the Getting Started video first. You might even want to take a look at the Preferences video also prior to this, because we're not going to get into the Preferences screen in detail. We might mention a couple new preferences, but this does assume a working knowledge of XpenseTracker or BizXpenseTracker, MileTracker, or TimeTracker. So let's get right in. We're going to create a new log. You're required to create at least one new log to store your entries. What I want to bring your attention here is the many different defaults that are available. Some of them might not pertain to you if you're running a particular app. For instance, mileage allowance is not going to show in TimeTracker, but some of the other ones will, of course. The one that you always will see, the start and the end date time, this defaults to August 1 through August 31st. That is the current month that I'm creating this video in. If you go into the Preferences screen, you can default this to many different options. I recommend taking a look at that. So let's save the log. Now, right off the bat, we're moved into the Entry View screen, which allows us to create new entries. But I'm going to back up and hit the Logs button and talk a little bit about the Log View screen. So Log View screen lists all your logs. You can sort them by date or by name. That's not going to be too interesting because we only have one log. But what I want to do is show you the difference between tapping on this icon and tapping anywhere else. So if we tap anywhere else, we're going to be brought into the log. But if we tap on this icon, and this icon will be the icon of your app, you'll be given the opportunity, if you're not running a simulator like I am, if you're running actually on a device, you'll give you the opportunity to take a picture or choose the photo library. This automatically defaults into the photo library because we don't have a camera on this simulator. But if I tap on and select this picture of this cityscape, I get to choose it. And you'll see that now the picture appears here. This is called the log image, and this allows you to make the app sort of your own. You can not only name logs, but you can actually take pictures. So if your log is of a visit to a certain city, you can take a picture, or if it's I don't know, if it's a particular company you're working for, maybe you have a few jobs and you're tracking your time and you want to have the company logo here, you can do that. So that's the log view, the log image. You can tap on it again, delete it, retake the picture, whatever. There's one log picture per log. So that's log images. All right, so now also I wanted to show you, well, actually, let's go right into the entries. the entry view screen here. And what I want to do is show you a new expense. So we're going to create a new expense, and you're all familiar with this. But what you might not be familiar with is if you go into the category, there's a Customize button here. A lot of people miss this, and if you hit the Customize button, you can actually delete categories, add new categories, edit category names, and you also can add subcategories. That's what this plus sub button is. So if you have, say, a category, let's see, let's create a new category. I'm going to call it meals. Now you can choose the icon. You can indicate if this particular category can accept a tip. So in the case meals, you do want to accept it, be able to accept a tip, because quite often you do leave a tip when you record a meal item. Included in per diem, I'm not going to talk about that. If you want to get into that feature, I'd recommend you go to silverwaresoftware.com/perdiem.html, and that's capital P, capital D, .html. So we're going to save this category, and let's see. Here it is. Now you also can change the order in which categories are listed. So when you go into the category screen, meals is going to be on the bottom. That might not be what you want. You can actually move it up if you want. You can actually sort the whole list by alphabetically. I'm not going to do that right now. But once you have this meals category, you can add a subcategory. So let's say you wanted to add a breakfast. Now there is a breakfast category already, but what I'm trying to show you here is the power of subcategories, which is you can actually, one level, organize your entries, organize your categories, so that here, if we were in the categories, let's see, where's meal? Oh, there it is. And we select breakfast, the category will be selected here, meals, breakfast. So there's only one level of subcategories they can have, and it'll be indicated with a colon there. But I'm just going to choose simply breakfast, because I have set something up here I want to show you here. Oh, see that those that can have tip, I'll show you a tip there. So I'm going to click on the merchant field, because I want to show you something here which I've set up. Now these are all the merchants that I've added for breakfast. So that's why it will filter out and only show you those merchants you use for the breakfast category. You can also see all, which will give you a full list of all the merchants, regardless of what category that it's associated with. But that's not going to be too interesting here, because all I have is categories for breakfast that I've preset before I started the video. But what I wanted to show you is a cool feature. If you come in here and enter a character, now my merchant names are not very interesting, but what it'll do is if you type the first character, it'll auto scroll and center that particular merchant name so that it can be easily selected. Now I'm going to just tap on it, and there I'm done. So the merchant was selected. So that's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you this quick list here. So once again, if I clear that out and say enter an I don't know, F, there is F. And if I select it, there it is. Okay. So that's the sorting that takes place with other fields as well. Take a look at and try for yourself. Similarly, you can. We were talking about editing categories, payment types. You can edit and customize as well. So now, getting right along, I wanted to show you photo receipts. When you tap on this, you're going to give them the opportunity to take a photo. I'm sure most of you have already done that already. But what I wanted to show you is, well, I can't take a photo with the simulator, but I'm going to select a photo. And what I wanted to show you is, once the photo is saved, if you tap on it, you can get into this mode where you can crop. So you can actually drag with your finger the receipt. A little crop icon will show up. Tap on that, and you can have that receipt even better situated by using the crop. Now, another item is you can actually take more than one photo, and you would do that through here. I'm not going to do that now, but if you do take another photo, you'll be able to swipe through and look at all the photos. You can crop individual photos as well. Interesting thing with a photo is if you double tap it, it'll zoom in, and if you you pinch, it'll zoom out. So that's an interesting thing you can do with the photos. All right, let's move on. Let me go back into my new expense. I just deleted the existing one. Now I'm creating a new one. Let's show the files feature. Very nice feature, which allows you to link a file to an entry. So, for instance, and I recommend you take a look at our help page, our help web page on this. It's silverwaresoftware.com/files.html, and the capital letter is F, lowercase iles.html, and learn more about that. But what I wanted to show you here is if you own the Dropbox add-on, now with BizXpenseTracker that's part of the app, but if you've purchased the Dropbox add-on, or actually, if you purchase the Dropbox add-on, you'll get this option to not only add a file from the clipboard or from an email, but you can add it from Dropbox. And what I want to do is show you that. So if you do that, it'll give you your list of files that you have in the BizXpenseTracker or whatever app you're using, a folder. Here's a couple folders. We can go look in deeper if we'd like. Just simple navigation. And if we select a file here, select this file, it'll come up in a list, and then if we tap on it again, it'll get linked to the particular entry. So if we hit done here, you'll see that the files has a number 1 indicating that there's a linked file. And if we look at it here, we can actually tap on it, see what this particular photo is or item is. And then if we didn't want to link to that any longer, we could hit unlink, tap the minus button, do unlink. Now that file is still in your directory, so if you want to link to it again, it's right there. So this is linking files. I'm going through this real quickly. It's a very popular feature once it's discovered. The most popular part of it is if you link a file, you can actually bring a file into your directory through email. So if there's an attachment that you've received an email, if you receive an email and has an attachment that you want to link to an expense or a time entry or a mileage entry, you can by going into the email app, tapping and holding the attachment and selecting our app to open it with, and it will then copy that file to the app's directory, and then you can link it through here. So when you do link a file, it'll show up in this list, and then you can tap on to link it. If there are any files that are in this list that you want to remove and you don't need any longer, you can hit delete files, and then just hit this, and it'll be done, and the list will not have that item. Just remember that if you do that, the file will be gone, and if you've previously linked it, and that link will be lost. So that's file linking. What I want to show you next is the quick name feature, which is a feature where if you enter in some values, let's enter in $12, category, let's choose lunch. I'm going to enter in a merchant. Just make up a merchant name for lunch. Maybe a little description. My weekly lunch meeting, whatever. And then if I enter in a quick name, weekly lunch, and hit save. Now everything here is I'm just entering a normal expense, but all I've done differently is entered in a name here. I'm going to hit save. So everything looks normal, nothing too interesting. But the next time we create a new expense, We tap on the quick field. The weekly lunch is listed, and if we select it, it's going to fill everything in, just as we did when we saved it with that name. All right, so that's quick name, a quick feature that's available with mileage entries and time entries. So definitely use it. What I also wanted to show you is the duplicate feature, which is if you want to duplicate an entry. So you like this entry, but you simply want to duplicate it. So you've created a new entry. You're just about to save it. If you hit duplicate, what it does is it'll save that previous entry, give you a new entry, and completely duplicate it so that you can then change the value if you want. Any value at all. Hit save, and now we have 3 entries. The first one, the one I created using the quick name, and then the third one, which we just duplicate. So let's delete some of these. Deleting, swipe right to left, and then hit delete. All right, now let's take a look at the export feature. I want to show you exporting photos. So if I tap on options and do export, or actually we can even do email. I urge you to watch the video on exporting and emailing. I'm not going to get into details, but I definitely, if you haven't seen the video, what I want to do is focus on this one section here. When you email or export your data, the photos are included either as attachments for email or just files. You can choose PDF or JPEG. JPEG would be single files. PDF will be all the images in one PDF file. And then you can choose if you have 1 page, 4 per page, or 9 per page. And then you can further reduce the size of the images. What it does is it reduces the file size through compression, but it doesn't lose much fidelity. So you can experiment and see which one you like to use. But the benefit of doing small is that the file sizes are going to be smaller. So I take that in consideration. So that's that. Now let's take a look at mileage entries. I wanted to show you, if you create a new mileage entry, I wanted to show you that when you tap on the from field, people miss this, is that there's a set button. The set button allows you to set your current location or from contacts list your location. So let's do set current location. I have it fixed for Apple's headquarters, so I can enter in a name, and that first field at the top is called the nickname. That nickname is allows you to assign a name to the address. So watch, when I hit save here, there it is. It shows that we know its location. If I tap on the 2, now it's not going to be too interesting to go from the same place to the same places, but you'll see that it's listed here. It's got its address, it's got its nickname, and it's got a little indication here that we know its address. If you tap on that, well, that's not too interesting, but I guess we can talk about this now, is that when you do enter in addresses, the app can determine your driving distance based on. This is not going to be interesting, but what I wanted to show you here was this. If you have entered in a location and tap on this little icon, it'll show you where the entry is on the map. So that'll be that's kind of interesting to take a look at. Let's see. Now the other thing I wanted to show you is on-screen filters. Now this particular button here of the funnel is your on-screen filter icon. If you tap on that, this allows you to filter all your entries. Now, I guess to make this interesting, let's create a new expense entry and have a category. Let's do it breakfast. Enter. We'll do it $7. So now we have 2 entries, one for category breakfast, one for category lunch. What I want to show is filtering, so you can actually flip that to use, tap on categories, select breakfast, and then apply the filter, and it'll only show those entries with category filter. Now that's not incredibly interesting because we only have 2 entries, but what I do want to show you is if I bring this up Now that's the current filter. See, it says category. If I enter a name, only breakfast, apply that. Now what's going to happen is that if I tap on that, it'll show the only breakfast filter. Now let's clear the filter. So we see both entries. Tap on this. Tap on only breakfast and filters. So you can actually set all different kind of filters, and all of them will be remembered. And depending on which fields you have enabled. So if you have enabled the project field, which is an optional field, you'll see a filter for it as well in here. But to use a filter, you first have to enable it, okay, and then you set the parameters that you wish to filter by. So if I wanted to filter and only show credit card payments, let's not use breakfast. So this I would call a credit card, and apply that. I'm not going to see any items. Now let's clear the filter. I'll show you proof to this that it works. I'm going to change my breakfast payment to credit card, save it. See both entries. Click on filter, credit card. There it is. So it's only going to show the credit card items. So that filtering is very powerful. Now lastly, I want to show you, let's clear the current filter, a feature with time entries that quite often is missed. If I simply open a time entry, hit save, the entry will show as yellow, indicating that the timer is running. You tap on this icon here, this is quite often missed, you'll be able to stop the timer. Tap on it again, start the timer. So if you are consistently starting work and stopping work, and you want to accumulate all the time that you enter, you just use that entry. And let's see. The only other thing that I wanted to show, which is quite often missed, is in the log view screen. If you tap on options, select view entries from all logs. What that'll do is list all of the entries from all the logs. And in this case, it's not too interesting because we have only one log, but it would show all your entries from all logs and then allow you to filter. I'm hoping this video has given you some things to look at further. And only one other item I just thought of that I wanted to show you is these sort buttons here. This allows you to sort. This is not often missed, but what might be missed is this other up button, and allows you to sort by many other different options. So if you're sorting, you can sort by merchant, which will allow you to do that, or you can search by payment type, which we saw we have credit card and cash. These are the features that I really wanted to outline and show you today. If there are any other questions, please email me at scott@silverwaresoftware.com, or if you have questions that you feel will be beneficial to have other users see and have answered, you can post a question on our forum on silverwaresoftware.com, hit the forums button, and you'll be able to look at all the other questions answered, as well as post your own. Thank you for listening, and like I said, please watch the other videos as well, and that's all. Thank you.